Status is false. Employee ID is 0 because it's auto generation. Understood? Okay. And the status value is false. We looked at the same thing in our link also, but in link here, so many fields came. Under that, we need to pick out. Here, the code is very simple, clean. Sir, what is the first one, sir? First one is navigation property. Department is the navigation property here. We did not use that in the code. We did not assign any value because we did not assign any value that is showing as null. We assign a value to a DID, we assign a value to ename, job, salary, but status is false. If I insert like to open, it'll insert the record with a false status. So that's why what we are doing here, the status as true. And once you're setting the status, we are simply trying to call add a record into the table. What next? Edit. I want to do a edit operation. Guys, for edit, we already written the methods. First, find the record which you want to edit. Second, you need a view back now with all the department's information. But what is the difference between add and edit? Watch. Here also we created the view back. What are the parameters we passed? First parameter, the collection from where it has to load the data. Second, value field. Third, text field. Understand what are the parameters. Don't read them. DID, DName. What is DID? What is DName? Understand that one. So what are we passing? First one is the collection from where the data has to be loaded. Second one, what is the value field? Third one, what is the text field? The value field is a DID and the text field is DName. Got it? These are the things what you are just going to pass it. But when you come here, along with this, we pass the fourth parameter. What is that? Default selection. What should be the default selection? Understand the difference between add and edit. For add, the default selection will be select department. For edit, the current department. For this employee, there is already a department. That department should be selected there now. And how do you specify that? The parameter means you're passing the employee ID here now. Sorry, department ID here now. Okay. So 4 parameters. What is the fourth parameter? The fourth parameter is selected value. What should be the selected value? Understand? See, first the collection. Second one, value field. Third one, text field. Fourth one, selected value. Okay. This is going to launch you the view now. This is going to launch you the view. Okay. Did we add a view now? No, we did not. Let us add it. Right click, add view. Go to add, paste the code, same code as it is, paste it here. Few things we require to modify. Edit employee, here text. Edit and update EMP. Edit and update EMP. Next, the method we should call is update employee. Here, I also require to show the EID, comma, new of @ is equals to true. We require to mark this as read on. Name okay, job okay, salary okay, department. And for this, all of you carefully observe. No need this now. Why? This is edit. This is not add. For edit, default selection will be the existing department ID. I don't require to say again select department. Select department means, why will I select department? Already have a department. Understood? We should not have that. Next one, we should not have a reset here. In the place of the reset, I said we need to add a cancel. Cancel. Okay. These are the changes I'm making for it now. Now, come on, let's run. Now click on. So what is the current department? 10 is marketing, already selected, see. Right? And look at here, 40, finance. Understood? So like this, we are just going to modify the things. Okay, edit. I want to update this as something like 60,000. I want to make it as a senior manager, something. I'm modifying two values now. Click on the save button and I add a breakpoint there and observe it again. You have the new values. What your job is senior manager, salary is 60,000, but now also status is false. See, it's a problem. So that's what we are doing now. We are modifying the status. Now we have all updated values. All. If you are working with the link queue, what you're required to do, you're required to create a reference, override all the old values with the new values, and then you're required to call submit changes. But here I said you, the steps are simplified. Just one line code. What is that? DC dot, there is a method called as entry. Pass your modified object here. Dot state is equals to entity state dot modified. And then you say save changes. Your data is saved. See there, modified. Are you clearer or not? Okay, so like this, I can modify whatever I just want. Okay, again, modifying it. Again, I'm modifying to something else. Save. Understood? Now delete. What do you want to do in the delete? Guys, in the delete, I wanted to launch a view. I wanted to launch a view. Displaying the whole data to user and asking the user, do you want to delete the record? Yes or no. When the user clicks on yes, it should call delete student. If the user clicks on no, it should call display student. Okay, remember for edit, I taught you this one. Why did I add a link here without a button? Cancel button, not a cancel button. We add a link. I already explained you in the last week. What is that? If you add a button, it should be a submit button. And when you have a submit button and specify a form action, specified a form action, both the two buttons will do the same thing only now. But actually we want save to call update. We want cancel to call display. Not the same. Save should call what? Update. Cancel should call what? Display. So that's why, array, under one form, if you add two submit buttons, also both will submit to the same action method only. Already I said you this point to you. Yes or not? Already we discussed on this particular point. On one form, if you do it, both are going to call the same. So this is really a problem. This is really a problem what we just have. So to overcome this particular problem, what did I do? I added one as a save button and one as a cancel. One is a cancel. Just we used a cancel there. And then the hyperlink. Because the hyperlink, and if you want to make it look like a button, already I said you can use Bootstrap and you can make it look like a button only now. That also I taught you. But really, if you want to add two buttons, two submit buttons only, not to make a link like a button. But suppose you don't have Bootstrap at all, then by directly it looks like a hyperlink now. It looks like a hyperlink. And tomorrow I want to add two submit buttons. One submit button should submit to one page. One submit button should submit to another page. Then you require to have two separate form tags on the screen. You're required to have two separate form tags on the screen now. The first button should be under first form and the second button should be under second form. Did you understand my point? Okay, we'll do it, guys. That is add view for delete, add view, empty. What is it? Employee. Okay, look at the view for delete. When you're trying to delete a record, we just wanted to add a view now. Watch. First, I'm adding a link. Then you're required to just display all the data with a delete button, on it. Are you clear? And also a cancel button. And also a cancel button. So see what I'm doing. Watch. Which method? And showing all the information to you in the form of text boxes, but all the text boxes are read-only text boxes. Observe. All text boxes, but they are read-on. And then I have a submit button. Type is equals to submit, value is equals to yes. I'm asking a question. Are you sure of deleting the current record? Yes. Afterwards, I just send you a hyperlink. But without a hyperlink, what I'm telling is I want to really add a button now. If I want to really add a button, what should I do? Again, I need to write display employees. This can be one of an important question. Can we have two form tags on a page? Yes, we can have. We can have two form tags on your page now. See there, I have two form tags. One is yes, and the second one is no. Got it? So observe this. When I click delete here, okay, you notice no. Got it? But without that, why two form tags and all? Without that only, what I'm doing is I'm using a hyperlink, and still we know how to make it look like a button. How? New of, comma is missing. At the rate class is equals to, if I use only BTN, I stopped it. Not getting it. Only BTN. We did not get it. BTN, primary, whatever. Hey, what happened? Not getting saved or what? We tried earlier, right? Oh, object route values. No borders and all. That's about it. Is that clear? Okay, like this. It's our choice here how you wanted to display the appropriate information. So just questioning the user, like whether you wanted to delete the record. Yes, otherwise we have a cancel. So you can click on the cancel and again come back over there. Okay, cancel. So we'll bring you back again. Clear now? I want to delete. Click on yes. When you click on the yes button, same story here, yes. And here by default, the status will be false only. Na? That only we want now. That is why I did not do any status check now. Simply, I'm calling an update and saving the changes. And the data is not loaded back again. Clear? 2002 is the record what I deleted. And that record is not coming up in the list. Hope you are clear. 1005, delete. Yes. Clerk is deleted. Understood? Are you clear? So this is how you are going to work with entity framework. This is a process to work with the entity framework actually. So this is all about entity framework and how do you work with the entity framework. Okay, fine guys. What next? We have seen how to, if you all want a permanent deletion, I said you reason, call this. It'll perform your permanent deletion. Then don't write this now. Only remove. It's a permanent deletion. Now tell me, entity framework is simple than link to SQL or not? The code is, the steps are simple when compared with the insert steps are same here. How to insert? Create an instance, call add, not insert and submit. Call save changes. There, create an instance, call insert and submit changes. Here, add, save changes. Update became easier now. What is that? You don't require to create a reference and all these things. What you required to do? You require to call a method called entry. And for that entry, you require to pass the modified model object and set the state as modified. And once you set the state as modified, you can directly call save changes. 2 steps became now 1 step only. The 2 steps now became the single step only now. So earlier 3 steps, now only 2 steps. Delete. For delete, we don't require to create any reference. No need any reference. Okay. So what we require to do? We require to just call remove method and pass the model object what you wanted to remove and call save changes. Here also no need to create a reference. Reference creation is not required. Simply remove and pass the model object. It will delete off the record. Understood? So the things became simple and easy. And the classes also, model classes also, if you remember, the model classes are clean and neat. The model classes are clean and neat. Understood? Okay. One more important thing here. What is this? Basically, if you recollect yourself, what is the name of our context class? MVCDB entities, not context. MVCDB entities. And if you know, the connection string name is also same only. The connection string name is also same. If you observe it, open the Solution Explorer, come to web.config, and the connection string name is also the same. Are you clear? In case if I change this now, in case if at all I'm going to change this now, will this load the data? Will this load the data is the question. It is telling no connection string named MVC DB entities could be found in the application config file. Did you understand me? This is what I was telling you in the last session. Your context class name should exactly match with connection string name. Why, sir? If they match, you don't require to specify again. Yeah, it is reducing the burden for you, na? Otherwise, again, you explicitly specify the name in the code, read it. Why all this nonsense? So simply what it tells you, array, give you a connection string name as context class name, I will read it. In case if at all you want to change it, no, sir, I really want to change this. I want to change this particular thing. Okay, at that particular point of time, it will basically, you require to specify that explicitly in your code again. You require to specify that explicitly in the code again. So the quick suggestion is, do not change this name. Are you clear? How to read it, I'll show you. We'll talk about it, how to read that explicitly. Today, the context class is auto-generated. Yes or not? Where in the designer file, and we already know that designer files should not be modified. Correct? If I can modify that, I can go and specify the name there. But I cannot modify it now. That is the reason why I'm telling you, don't do this. In code first, we'll see. In code first, we'll see that particular process. How to specify that, sir? I'll show you if you want, but I should never modify. Designer files, which are auto-generated files, you should never be modified. Okay, here I should specify. Here I should specify. Are you clearer? Generally, it is not recommended to do that. It's not recommended to do that basically. Not sure if it uses this name anywhere in the code, again, errors can be thrown. But we modified it. Got it, see? Got it? And one thing I'll tell you, the name is MVC DB entities. Come here. Here also the name specified na? Array, no need here. Even you don't specify, also it will work. Why? My class name is matching with connection string name now. My class name is matching with the connection string name. If it doesn't match, then I should call the base class constructor and pass the connection string as a parameter to it. I should call the base class constructor and call the parameter. See, even remove also it worked. Understood? When that specific, when should I explicitly specify that? You need to explicitly specify that in case if the connection string name is different. If it is same, no need. We'll see all, remember all these points here. I'll show you manual coding in code first. There we will do all these things. Okay. One more thing to explain you here. There is a concept called as lazy loading and eager loading. Lazy loading and eager loading. What is this lazy loading and eager loading? Okay, observe. Here, when I go to display employees, the controller. What did you do here? dc.employees.where? You're fetching the data from the employee table, right? Which table? Employee table. And passing that data to display employees. But do you notice that display employees is also fetching data from department table? In the display employees, you are also fetching the data from department table here. So basically what happens here is, when I write the code like this, first it is going to load the data from employee table. After loading the data from the employee table, when there is a requirement, then it will reopen the connection and load the data from the department table. I repeat, first it is going to load the data from employee table only from employee table. It doesn't load the data from department table. Are you clearer or not? When we load the data from department table, In the view, we said department dot. Then it is going to load the data from the department table. Did you guys understand or not? We call that process as lazy loading. We call that process as lazy loading. So what is lazy loading means? Lazy loading means first loading the one entity data and loading the second entity data only when there is a requirement. Only when there is a requirement. When there is no requirement, it doesn't load you that particular information at all. It doesn't load you that information basically. So that is what exactly happens to you in the case of the lazy loading. In the case of lazy loading. So what will it do first? It will first load you the data from one entity. When there is a requirement, then it will load. But you know that there is a requirement. You know na there is a requirement. You know na clearly. What you want data from employee department also. Then why are we following lazy loading then? Did you get the question or not? Why are we following the lazy loading? That's lazy loading is wrong now. Lazy loading is wrong now. So the opposite for this particular thing is eager loading. What is eager loading? Eager loading in the sense, in eager loading, guys, while loading the data from the first entity, then only it will load you from second entity also. Means it is going to load the data from both the entities at the same time. That's what we call as eager loading. Okay, like this, we are provided with two different options. The first option is lazy loading and the second option is eager loading. So what happens in lazy loading? In lazy loading, first it is going to load you the data from one entity. And if there is a need, if it feels that there is a need, then it is going to load the data from the second entity. Until then, it's not going to load the data from the second entity basically. Why is it not showing? Data is loading. It should show there. Something wrong. It should show you there. It will load your data only from the employee. When it loaded the data from the department, in the view, when you're trying to access this data, at that time, again, it will reconnect to the database and loads the data from the second one. But it means what happens behind the screen? Two connections are happening here. First connection is loading the employee data. Second connection is loading the department data. To resolve this particular problem, we are provided with an option called as eager loading. What is it? Eager loading. What is eager loading? Means at a time it will load the data from both the two tables. At a time it is going to load the data from the two tables. From the two tables, the data gets loaded at a time now. So that's called as eager loading. How to enable this eager loading? If you want to enable this eager loading, guys, you're required to do two things here. What is it? First, DC dot configuration, the data context dot configuration dot lazy loading enabled is equals to false. Why, sir? Default is true. Default is true, yeah. Default is lazy loading. Default is lazy loading. What am I doing? Lazy loading false, I'm telling. Lazy loading false means eager loading. Okay. Because you set it as eager loading, don't expect it to load up the data immediately. We require to call another thing. Dot include. Do you remember yesterday when I shown you auto generation, scaffolding? The scaffolding code I shown you, at the time you noticed or not, it was writing that include there. It was writing that include. Try, check it out if you want. I shown you the first example now. Try the first example and go and verify the code. It will show you dot include. Enables you eager loading. Enables you the eager loading. Dot include. And here you're required to tell that E lambda expression, E dot department. Simple English, man. What is it telling you? Include the department data also. Include the department data also is what it is telling you now. So now what happens when you're loading the employee data? We know that now department data is also required now. Load me department data also now. Load me department data also now. So that employee data, department data, both are going to be loaded for you in this context. Okay, both the two things will be verified. Not sure why it is giving you an error like this. Debug is not working properly. But data is coming. Data is coming. The debug process is not working. You can see the data. But this is going to be faster. This is going to be faster. Load both the two things at a time. Can I do the same thing for display employee? Display employee also shows two data now. Okay, if display employee is also showing both, then you're required to do it with display employees also then. Are you getting me? Okay. Just watch it. Dot. Oh, I don't have dot include here. I don't have dot include here. Just a minute. Dot include E lambda expression E dot department dot array. See the problem? If I use find, I'm not able to use include. If I use include, I'm not able to use find. Did you notice it? I can use include only with where. I cannot use include with find. That's what I want to tell you. I can use include only with where, but I cannot use with find. So how to resolve it, sir? Simple here. Without using dot find, use dot where. E lambda expression E dot EID dot is equals to EID dot include E lambda expression E dot department. Got it? Now come to edit. Now come to edit. In edit also, we want to get the data. Here also we use the find. But in edit, are you editing department data? So you want the data only from employee or employee and department also? Louder. Only from employee. Don't use include there. You need to understand that only. When should I use? When I should not use. When I want to get both the two tables, then use include. But in this scenario, you don't want to get the data from both the two tables here. You want to get the data only from employee, because I'm editing only employee. Okay. Same way when you call delete. Here also don't use. Here also don't use. But here also, if you're displaying the data from both the two tables, if you're displaying the data from both the two tables, no, we are not displaying. We are not displaying here. We're displaying only data from employee table, but not from department table. That's it. So you're required to do in display employees and display employee, but don't do in edit and delete. Don't do that. Okay, now? So you can read this, guys. Read it. Eager loading versus lazy loading in NT framework. Eager loading is a process where a query for one type of entity also loads related entity as part of the query so that we don't need to execute a separate query for related entities. Eager loading is achieved using include method. In our above project, under the display employees action method, we have accessed data of employee entity as following. This is how you accessed it. Okay. Default loading is lazy loading only. And if you want to use eager loading, then we need to first set the context class dot configuration dot lazy loading enabled is equals to false, and the above code should be replaced as below. Okay, now to enable eager loading in display employees and display employee methods, rewrite the code under both the methods. Rewrite the code under both the methods. I'm rewriting both the two methods, guys. Clear? Lazy loading is delaying the loading of related data until you specifically request for it. Until you specifically request for it. It is opposite of eager loading. For example, the employee entity contains the department entity. In the lazy loading, the context first loads the employee data from the database, and then it will load the department entity when we access the department property. Look at the code. First step, you created the context class instance. Second, you're calling toList and converting into list now. Here, it loads only employee details. But sign. Now you're saying EMP of 0 dot department means you're trying to access department data now. You're trying to access the department data. Loads department particular employee only. Suppose you write this code in a loop now. 10 records are there. 10 times it will be loading one record, one record, one record, one record. Means internally without our notice, 11 connections are happening. Are you clear? So anyhow, we know that. What we know? We want to load both the two tables data. I want to use both the two tables data. Then let us go with eager loading. How? Like this. I added you. I made two changes. One new line came into picture. What is that? DC dot configuration dot lazy loading enabled is equals to false. Second, before calling to list, I called include. So telling include the department data. So in one connection only, it will load both the two tables data. Earlier, if 10 records are there in employee table, how many connections are needed now? 11, not 10, 11. First connection to load employee data, 10 more connections to load each department associated information now. But in this process, in one connection only, it will load you the data from both the two things. So should I use this or not means that all depends on your requirement. That's what I'm telling you. That all depends upon your requirement. In our example, display employees and display employee requires eager load only. But edit and delete require lazy loading means they don't need it. If required, we'll call it. That is secondary, but they don't need it. So in that scenario, don't enable the eager loading. Don't enable the eager loading. That is why, even though I'm using this particular line 2 times, I've done it separately only. This code. 2 times I've written the code. Yes or not? Oh, I did not. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I require to write in second method also. 2 times I should write. Sir, without writing 2 times, you can write off this in the constructor no directly. If I write off in the constructor, it will apply off to all. I don't want it here. I don't want it. I want specifically for these methods only. I don't want it for all. That is why I did not do it in the constructor. I hope you guys are clear. Understood? It's all about lazy loading and eager loading. Okay. Shall we now look at the process of calling stored procedures now? Stored procedure calling. Stored procedure calling here, nothing different here. We already worked with the link now. Same process. Same process. But one and only one difference. What is the difference? Query procedures will return you. Query procedures will return you I single result of T. Do you remember? Query procedures method. For a query procedure method is here now. What is the method's return type? I single result of T, where T is a new class that is auto-generated with the procedure name result. Yes or not? So what will be the name? The procedure name is select underscore student. Then it will be select underscore student underscore result. Correct? Huh? Now also same here. Only thing, you know, I single result is replaced with object result. I single result is replaced with object result. For the return type, a class will be generated now. Now also class will be generated. But the only difference is the class will have underscore prefix before result. That's all. Did you get me or not? What is the first change? I single result is now object result. This is the first change. Second, our new model class is defined. What is the name? Employee underscore select is a procedure name, followed by result. But here, it's looking like combined of everything, not looking good. So what they done is your procedure name underscore result. That's all. Rest all same only. We already seen calling the stored procedures in linked to SQL now. Exactly same code, nothing difference. We'll see. We'll quickly do that also. No. Array, if it is applicable in link to SQL, I would have said in link to SQL also too, you know. I did not say you there. See, if I tell you here, it works only here. I did not say you with link to SQL. Okay. So basically, these are all the new features what we have in NT framework which are lacking in. So asking about lazy loading and air loading. I don't have lazy loading and air loading in link to SQL. If that is there only I would have said you and said that, here also we can do lazy loading and air loading. I did not tell you there at all. Okay. which indicates we don't have this feature in. These are all the advanced features what we have in entity framework, lacking in link to SQL. Okay. Yeah. Let us do one thing. Let us create a new project. Three. Hey, you tried it, framework? You tried example? Is the entity framework installing or facing the problem? Installing, huh? I said, you actually recently updated. After updating only, I got this problem because in the previous batch, I don't have this issue. After the latest update, then started this problem for me. So that's why manually again installed your entity framework. I said, if you are facing the problem, a simple solution, open the package manager console and just simply install the entity framework package. That's all. Come on, let's do it. Add new item, data, and this name doesn't make any sense at all, and we don't use this name anywhere. We don't use the name anywhere. Any name you like, you give it. Give your name there, no problem. And we are not going to use that name anywhere. Okay? New connection. Server. Sorry. SQL. SA. 123. False. Save my password. MVC TB. Test. Okay. Yes. Next. Next. Now, select stored procedures. Don't select the tables. So we are going to work with images here. This example includes images also for you now. Okay, we'll work with images also. And click on the finish button. Same problem repeated. You don't see the visual representation of anything here. Just a minute. It did not add, I think. Okay, add it. You don't see any visual representation. Why? You did not select any tables now. But if you come to Solution Explorer, okay, this is missing. So let me complete the task. What is it? Install hyphen package entity framework. Come once, do a build. Okay, guys. Entities. See there. Only select is important for you. Remaining all same only here. Look at the select. Look at the select all of you. See the return type. It is not I single result. It is object result. And the class is student underscore select underscore. Sir, where is the class? The class will be under the last one. Huh? Array, the class will be in the bottom. See the class. No fields also. but their fields, properties, all. But here simply only fields. I don't, sorry, only properties, no fields. Simple code. Understood or not? If you already worked with link to SQL stored procedure calling, it's exactly same. And we don't care whether it is I single result, object result, all this is nonsense for us. Am I right? Because two reasons. One, I can call to list and convert into list if I want to work with. And second reason, my view is capable of holding any collection in it. It can hold queryable, I queryable, it can hold I single result, it can hold object result, it can hold table, it can hold DB set. Whatever you pass, it can hold here. That is why I'm not again drilling you into these classes. If you start learning about each and every class, it will become a confusion now. DB set, I single result, table, object result, all these are going to be confusing now. So don't try to understand about these things at all. Simply to list, and list is a generic one, or if you don't want to work with each item individually, pass on directly to the view, and view will hold and provide you information of all the things, enumerable. That is always there on the top. Okay now? Fine. Now, again, the same old story. What's it? Add a controller, student. Guys, we want this. We want this. What is that? Folder. Uploads folder with all the images. Right? So let us do that, guys. Let us quickly do that. Right click. Just a minute. Open folder. Here we need the uploads folder. We'll copy from our previous project here. Where is it? Link. Oh, here. MVC with. Here only worked. Third one we worked with EMP DEPT. Okay, this one only. This project. Uploads. Copy the folder from here. DBF. And paste it. Okay. And remember, by default, that folder won't be visible here. What to do? I said here. Show all files. Right click. Include in project. All the images are loaded off. Okay now? Now, come on, let's start. First, create the, import the model using dot models. MVCDB entities TC is equals to new MVCDB entities. First method, public view result display students. Okay, where students is equals to DC dot call the stored procedure. What is it? Student underscore select. What should I pass? Null, comma, true. Null, comma, true means all active records. All the active records. See the written type, all of you? It's in the namespace system dot data dot entity dot core dot objects. That's why using where advantage is that only. Without using where, if I directly want to use object, if I want to use a object result. If I want to use a object result, then what should I do? I should again import this namespace now. That's it. To simplify that only, we are using where. We're using the where there. Okay. Next. Next one. Public view result. Display student. Tell me where student is equals to DC dot student underscore select SID comma true dot single and here directly give you, see there, directly giving you student underscore select underscore result now. It's not a object result of, it's not a generic collection, it is a scalar. It is a scalar, here collection. Next, that is same. Next one. Public add student. Okay. What do you say? Nothing here. Return view. What is missing? HTTP get. HTTP post. Public redirect to route result and student. That is our model. Comma. HTTP posted file base, correct? Selected file. HTTP posted file base selected file. What you'll write here? If selected file not equal to null, string folder path is equals to server dot map path tilde, what is it? Uploads slash. Next, if not file dot exists of folder path, if it is not existing, sorry, directory dot exists. Directory dot create directory folder path. What next? Selected file dot save as folder path plus selected file dot file name. Okay. Next, student dot photo is equals to what you will do? Selected file dot file name. What next? Now you are going to call the procedure now. DC dot student underscore insert student dot SID student dot name student dot class student dot fees student dot photo. Don't expect me to explain you. I already explained you all these things to you. Okay. Then return redirect to action display students. Display students. Tell me the code for edit here. I won't speak. Public louder view result edit student. Where student is equals to DC dot student underscore select SID comma true dot single. Wrong. Template. Forgot already. Template of photo. Student dot photo. Return view student. Return view student. Public redirect to route result. Update student. Result. Student. HTTP posted file base. Selected file. Selected a file. Right? And then I can copy this as it is now. Next. Else if template of photo not equal to null. If this is not equal to null, student dot photo is equals to template of photo dot spelling mistake dot toast. Then you're required to call DC dot student underscore update SID name class face photo. Comma is missing. Okay. Next. Redirect to action. Display. Oh, students. Top also written display students or display employees. Fine. The fourth time we are using and you're asking to explain it now. What you're doing till now? The HTTP posted file base will provide you the information of the file you have selected. You have selected a file and this will bring you that particular information, like the file information. What information? Name of the file, size of the file, type of the file, all that information will be captured. All the information will be captured here. So when you select a file, every file has some data. Every file has some data and all that information is going to be captured here. Like what I said here, if you put your mouse there, it will tell you, okay, not now in the runtime. If you put your mouse there, it will provide you information, file name. Yeah, we are using file name there. Next, file type. What is type? MIME type. I already explained about MIME type. Stay here. Next, file size. Tomorrow, you want to read the content of the file. Today, we are not reading the content of the file here. What we are doing is only, we are just only trying to get the file name. But tomorrow, I want to read the content of the file and store the content in the database. That also we can do. I'll show you that in the next example. Means, remember in C# classes, without storing the file name, we stored the file, converted into byte array on the database. That one, I'll show you in the next example for you that. In that case, that HTTP posted file base will provide you all the required information about the file. Name, size, type, everything, every information of the file. You can read it through this HTTP posted file base. That's what exactly the HTTP posted file base is. You should make the habit of reading like this. Access to that have been uploaded by the client. It provides access to the files being uploaded now. So we can get access through this class now. What next? For delete, I've written one method, two methods, I don't know. Like, I written two methods here. I've written two methods for delete. Just like our previous one. Here also written you two separate methods. Help me. HTTP get public view result, delete student, int SID, where student is equals to DC dot student underscore select of SID comma true dot single. Return view student. Okay, now next HTTP post public redirect to route result, delete student, student. Okay, what will you do? Call the method DC dot delete. What should I pass? SID, right? Student dot SID. Return redirect to action. Display students. Display students. That's it. Okay, what you required to do? You can write this in a single line here. You're capturing and passing. Without that, directly what you can do? You can write off the whole code here. I done it like this only, see. You can reduce the number of lines there, that's all. Okay, what next? Display students, add view. Tell me, at the rate model, I variable. Louder, yeah, sound is not. Student underscore select result. MVC DB EF3 dot models dot student underscore select result. That is the one what we require to bind. It's all same, man. No changes in this code. Only thing is for delete, I don't have a on click now. Why? We have created a separate view for it now. Delete student. Rest all code is same. Empty. Generated. Same design here. Left hand side image, right hand side data. Left hand side the image and the right hand side data. All same. You can see there. His name should exactly match our with our parameter name there. Okay. Next. Edit. Lastly, I think in this example, I used 2 buttons. Yes, guys. 2 buttons. See, one form, yes button. Another form, no button. Clear? Another form, I used a no button now. Why you use it this? Can you tell me? Inside a C# block, we cannot write static strings now. So if you want to write static strings, either you require to write @ or text tag. @ or the text tag. Okay, here I used the text tag, here I used just to understand that both are possible. Yes. Now come to display students, run. Images are also there now. So by default, it has to load and display all the students' information. Okay, so to be clear, except these 2 changes, nothing changed between link to SQL and entity framework. Only thing is I single result became object result. Employee underscore select result became employee underscore select underscore result. That's all. Remaining all code is same. Yeah, just a minute. Okay. What next? You want to add 108. Okay. Save. Add it. Okay. Details. Edit. And delete. See there, yes button, no button. Separately shown here. Okay. Click no for going back to student ID. If you click on the no, it will take you back to the student ID. Separate button, that is. Understood? So like this, I'm just using the things here. Class is equals to table. It's not looking good earlier. Okay, fine. We'll not use the bootstrap class there. That's it. Hope I'm clear. Understood all of you? So this is how you work with the store procedures. So nothing special or nothing new what we have in this case. It is exactly same as link to SQL. All these examples are DB first only. Na? Even when I explained you link to SQL also, DB first only. And what we learned now is also DB first only. All these are DB first. Are you clear? I shown you 3 examples there. I shown you 3 examples here. Correct? I shown you 2 examples on student, 1 example on employee department there. Here I shown you 2 examples on employee department and 1 example on student. First example here I shown you scaffolding. Second example, manually I've written the code and shown you. And the last one is store procedure. We did not write anything, we did not talk. That is as it is we used here. Why? There is no difference between link to SQL and link to entities in procedure. Okay. The next thing what we require to understand here is code first. Code first. What is code first? Guys, listen. In code first, imagine you don't have any database at all. You're freshly started developing your application today for a new client. There is no existing database. So in our previous approaches, how I explained you, not only here in C# also, identify the entities, identify the attributes, create the database tables, then start building the application. If you do like this, that is DB first. Are you clear? Now, a new approach. What is it? Identify the entities, identify the attributes, develop the application, run it, and database will be created. Did you catch my point? What is the old pattern we learned? First step, identify the entities, identify the attributes for each entity, design the database and tables based on entities and attributes. Based on entities and attributes. Now, build the application with classes. That's what we have learned earlier. Till now, we are following this approach only. Not only today, since long back from C# also, we said you this concept only. In ADU.NET also, we done it like this only. Correct? But the new concept is design the application. And fourth, run the application to to create the database and tables. The fourth one is automated step. The fourth one is an automated process. So directly what we can do, we can design our models and all the things. Did you understand me? So this is called as code first. In code first here, you have a lot of coding. As the name indicates, you have a lot of coding. No code auto generation. No code auto generation here. What should I do, sir? First, you're required to identify your models first. Okay. Second, you're required to identify all the attributes. First and second steps, you know, nothing special. Come to the third step. In that only, what we should do. Listen carefully. Step 1, define the model classes on your own. Define the model classes on your own now. Suppose you're working with a student, employee and department. Define the department class, define the model class. Okay. Now define the navigation properties. These navigation properties will define the relationships. The navigation properties will define the relationships. Listen, in both the two classes, I'm talking with the department employee only. Okay. In both the two classes, if the navigation property is a scalar property, the navigation property is a scalar property, then the relationship is one-to-one relationship. Means one department can have one employee can have one department. But this is wrong. But chances are there, yeah. Chances are there. Like, see, I am creating a table. I'm creating a table like this. What table? The Indian government is just storing the information of all the different players who plays in different sports and games now. So there is a table now. In the table, all the information is there about the name of the player, what he plays exactly, and all that particular information. Now they want to maintain another table. Another table. In the second table, they want to store the information of the spouse data. Information of the spouse data. So there is a spouse table. Means suppose you take Sachin Tendulkar as a player now, or MS Dhoni is a player. Okay, let us take the current player. Virat Kohli is a player now. Now I need to store the spouse data of the Virat Kohli now. I have a second table called spouse table. In that I am storing the information of the spouse, Anushka Sharma. So now this is going to be a one-to-one relationship here. Here you cannot use the multiple relationships now. Yes or not? These type of scenarios, what do you have? One-to-one. So in both the two classes, the property should be scalar. Yesterday I shown you, remember, one is collection, one is scalar. If you go for one class as, in one class you have a collection and one class you have a scalar. That is one-to-many relationship. That is one-to-many relationship. Best suited for our one department. Supplier, there is a customer. There is a supplier, there is a customer. A supplier can supply only to one customer or multiple customers. Multiple customers. A customer can purchase only from one supplier or multiple suppliers. Multiple suppliers. There is a many-to-many relationship. All these relationships are defined based on the properties you define in your class now. And through the navigation, if you are thinking of many-to-many relationship, in both the two classes, you should have a property of type collection. One-to-one, both the classes you should have scalar. One-to-many, one is collection, one is scalar. Already we saw this in the last example, remember? Okay, all these model classes should be explicitly defined by you. You need to analyze yourself and you need to understand what you're developing, and based on that you should define. Second step, you're required to define the context class on your own. Third step, you're required to write the connection string on your own. Are you clear? Rest of the steps are same only. What is it? Controller class, action methods, views, that is same only. Got it or not? After completing all these things, when you run the project for the first time, based on your model classes, and the connection string, in the connection string, you write database name, na? You write a database name, na? Based on all this information, there is a concept called as migration. The migration will create a database to you. What name, sir? You specified the name in the connection string now. It'll take that name and creates the database. Next, you have all the entity model classes now. These model classes will convert into tables. Based on the navigation properties, it will create a relationship between the tables. Column names will be your property names. All the things are automatically generated. Means we can skip this. This is automatic. Yeah, this is not done explicitly. This is done implicitly. So we have only 3 steps here. Fourth step is implicit. That's why third step is lengthy. We need to do all the things manually now. Are you clear? We'll see that. Just complete of all this particular practice here. Tomorrow we'll freshly see code first, step by step. Each and every of these particular things will keep on writing the code. And first time when you run it, your database, your tables, everything will be auto-generated for you. Okay, now let's see that in the tomorrow. Let's stop it here. We'll meet tomorrow.